Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, My So-Called Healthy Life. It's kind of a crazy day today. If you watch all of my channels, I'll probably mention this on every single video because I'm so excited about it. But a year ago today, I started my BookTube channel, put up my very first BookTube video. You should go back and watch it. It cracks me up to watch it now. I was so different then than I am now. I was not comfortable in front of the camera, and it's just, you know, a lot has changed in the last year, and it's so strange, especially on this channel, I think, you know, like the whole power of a year and how much can change if you just kind of float with the universe and with life and all of that kind of stuff. And one of the things that's really, really cool is that I'm not somebody that quits things easily. And if you watch my vlog, I had talked on there, I don't know, a couple weeks ago about the fact that this channel doesn't get very many views. I lose a lot of subscribers on this channel. It's like not many people are that interested in it. But that being said, I was in bed last night and I was reading the comments, specifically just on this channel, and you guys are so wonderful, and so many people were like, please keep up these videos. These are really helping me get through my day. They really help me start my day. I've gotten so many Snapchats and Twitter messages specifically about this channel, which is so funny to me, you know, that like I just am kind of sharing with you what works for me with reading the daily meditations. And today I'm going to read a book that because I'm in my office, so I picked up one of my books that's in my office today, and I read the meditation. I thought, oh, this is perfect for today. But you know, it's interesting that I think that real knows real, and so when I get on here and I just share a piece of myself, you guys relate to that. And you know, I think if I could ask of you anything to do as a response to that, that would be to donate to my Patreon account. No, I'm joking. I don't have a Patreon account. If that could be anything, what that would be is to go out and share a part of yourself with somebody else, okay? And, you know, somebody that's going through something that you kind of relate to, go, hey, let me share my story with you and how I got through that, and pass it on and help somebody else out there. You know, even if it's through social media, even if it's just a Facebook message, even if it's just sharing a meme, even if it's a phone call or a postcard, or just, hey, thank you so much, or buying the coffee for somebody behind you at Starbucks, or whatever it is, leaving some extra money in the meter, just to pass on some kindness and positivity, I think is a really nice thing. And I think the more we do that, and the more we share our stories of what we've gone through, the more we help each other get through just basic days. And, you know, sometimes it's not the huge things in life that keep us down. Sometimes it's the connection of many, many just low drab days. And if you've had those in a row, I think you relate to that, where you're like, God, it just never gets better, you know? But trust me, it will get better. And one of the things I've said on here a lot that people seem to really resonate with is that I get up on a daily basis and I say to myself, something really cool is going to happen today. Something really neat is going to happen, or I'm going to meet somebody, or an opportunity is going to come up that I didn't expect, or I'm going to find out about a new TV show or whatever, you know? And it can even be the smallest thing, or trying out a new food or something like that. And, you know, just like last night, my husband and I, we went on a date night. We went to this new restaurant in Indianapolis called Livery, and it's in this old horse stables. And we had a fantastic time, and the food was fun. And it just was really, really a cool night. And I tried some food I had never had before. And, you know, going into the world with that attitude allows me to have a really cool, positive day. So, yeah, share a little bit of yourself with somebody else and pass on your realness, because we all have it, you know? All right, today's book that I'm going to read you from, and the reason I picked this is it is also the 9-year anniversary of my mother's passing. She actually died on the 14th, but that was a Thursday that year. So the book, and somebody gave me this book after my mom passed away, and it's Daily Affirmations from Forgiving and Moving On, Powerful Inspiration for Personal Change by T. and Dayton, PhD. And I actually have like 3 of his books, and I really like them. So, which is really funny because tomorrow's is dog-eared, and it's called Releasing Old Hurt. So I can tell, I don't dog-ear books often, so that must mean something. So I'm gonna read that one tomorrow too. But today's is called Changing My Life Situation. And this so applies to where I was a year ago. I can change my life situation. Trying and trying and trying to get something right that never seems to work is self-destructive and makes me feel like a failure. I have a right to succeed and feel good about myself. Change is one of the most difficult of life's challenges. It is perfectly all right for me to want my life to feel comfortable to me, as well as manageable. I don't know what my future may hold in store for me at any given time, but I know that it is good. When I follow my heart, I align myself with my greater good, and when I align myself with my greater good, things have a way of falling into place. Today, I entertain the possibility that my life can work out as I might like it to. I am able to make changes. And the quote for today is, "The absurd man is he who never changes," by August Bartlemy. And what I love about that is so much about, I don't know that it's so much the fear of change that we don't like, or it's the fear of starting the change. And for me, I've had several major life events that have just catapulted me into the next era of my life, so to speak. And, you know, one of them for me was getting sober. And not just getting sober, but actually, like, staying in treatment, because I was so resistant, and I so was like, this is not for me, screw this, I'm not gonna do it, I don't have a problem. I mean, I knew I had a problem, but I didn't want to do anything about it. When I finally looked in the mirror and had a moment of clarity and was like, it's time to make some changes in your life isn't getting any better, and I was able to address that fear, my life started changing. You know, the next thing was, you know, 2 relationships that I got out of. And the first one was he wanted to go, you know, and allowing myself to not stand in the way, because I needed to realize that the relationship was over. And the second one was allowing myself to get out of a relationship that was no longer positive or healthy for me or for him, you know. And that was really, really hard, because I loved him, you know. There's a part of me that will always love him. But I realized that we weren't good for each other anymore. The next one was leaving my career of 13 years, which I've talked a lot about on all of my channels. I didn't know who I was not working there. You know, I had worked there from the point that I was, you know, 6 months sober until 13 years sober, and it had taken me through 2 relationships and all kinds of, I mean, I didn't know who I was. I grew up there, you know, I grew up with those people, and I was terrified to leave. But it was time. I knew it was time, they knew it was time, it was time. And, you know, I was so afraid of what was going to happen, but when I finally got out of it, I was like, I'm gonna be good, you know? The other thing I've had to learn the last couple of years is setting limits and boundaries with people, because I'm so afraid that if I set limits and boundaries with people, I'm gonna end up getting hurt, or they'll leave me, or they'll go away. If I set healthy limits and boundaries for people and they end up walking away from me, then the reality is, and I've had to learn this the hard way, the reality is they probably weren't people that I wanted in my life to begin with, because their best interest wasn't for me. And when you really think it through, and I'm talking about really think it through, whatever that person is that you know mistreats you or doesn't treat you the way that you deserve, and your fear is, if I set this limit and I say, I'm no longer willing to accept this, you know, you must not think very highly of me to think it's okay to treat me that way. When you really connect that in your head and you say, okay, I'm gonna do something about this, it's not about really knowing it, see me turning the key, it's about willing to start the car and moving it, okay, and saying, now what do I do about it? Because that's the real fear, is actually making the change, I think for most of us. So, you know, I've done that the last couple of years, and I've lost some people in my life, and it's hurt, and it's been hard, but the end result is I have been able to stand up a little bit higher, a little bit stronger, and a little bit more confident, because I've known that the people that are in my life are there because I choose for them to be there and because they treat me right. Now, family members, I think, are a totally different thing, and, you know, employers that we can't stand but we need the job and all that kind of, I mean, we all have people in our life that we have to deal with, right? And that's where you go to my other videos about practicing mindfulness and calm, and you go, I love that somebody commented on my video, they go, I'm trying to stay so calm, but I can't do it. I was like, oh my God, if you knew, that's me on a daily basis. So anyway, I think it's a really good meditation. I think it's a really good thing to think of. And you know, I was thinking about this last night. It's like today, one of the things I want to do, it's almost kind of like New Year's Eve for me. I want to make a list of 10 things that I want to achieve on YouTube in the next year, and what I really want to do with the 4 channels that I have. Not change them, but like where I want to go next, if that makes sense, and what I want to do now that people are listening a little bit. You know, there's some power in that, you know, and to use those channels for positivity and for good, and for carrying the message of kindness, compassion, and empathy. So I love you guys. I hope you relate to that. Thank you for making this possible for me, and I could start crying. And Thank you for my life. I love you. Bye.